so. No, 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 I don't think so. No, 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 it's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 I don't think so. No, 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 it's never, ever, 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 ever.
You can keep the bag inside. Otherwise it's raining inside.
Get sick. And I've been on a lot of boats.
like all articles you may record during the voyage.
Hi.
Hi.
Hard hats when you go down, folks. And there we go. All the hard hats are over here. And there's some in that little closet. There you go. We had 79 pounds heavier than the rocket size. It's 52% iron, and it's over 500 million years old. That's a big
500 million years.
And when the new leaves right. On a 10-degree slope for 2.5, 3 miles. So today on this slope here, which is called the main slope, it's in the center of the full body of ore, and we're going to walk 650 feet underground only. And we can't get any further because water meets us here now, and all the water in the mine is fresh water. It's surface or ground runoff. Now, during mining operations, any accumulation of this fresh water, that was pumped out constantly. Hasn't been pumped out now since 1966. And that's when the last of the 6 mines closed on Bell Island. So this number 2 mine opened in 1902 and it closed Christmas time, 1949. It never reopened and it was never modernized. Modernization started in the 50s. So with picks, shovels, dynamite and drills, the miners came in and they would drill, blast and shovel. We're going to see 3 of the early types of lights they used to get their way through the mine. And because they're only taking the ore from the center, well, they had to get all that ore that was on the east and on the west. They created these levels. So we're going to stop and see some of them. And now we do have some concerns on you don't have the whole head on, don't they? And they're heart disease, lung disease, asthma, fear of enclosed spaces, difficulty walking up and climbing. Is it little? Sometimes I got to do.
What was that?
Yeah. It's big. It's 20 feet long, 17 feet high. I wouldn't be down here. Well, you can take all the pictures you like. Pictures are important. Center of the full body of ore. This is where the tracks were. This is where the full ore cars were pulled off. And also here on the main slope, folks, our miners will get in their tram cars and they will be taken to and from work each day as well. So come with me now, folks. Don't have the camera in again. Now, folks, back in 1902, when this number 2 mine first opened, every 10, you can shine your light on that one.
Right.
Yeah? Every 10 or 12 feet or so, our miners would carve holes into the walls of the mine, and that's where they placed the candle. Folks, back in 1902, candle was the only light the miners had to guide them through the mine. There was no electricity, not even on Bell Island. I grew up in the old lighthouse here, folks, and we didn't have electricity till I was in grade 8. Yeah, I've seen it all. No hard hats for the miners back then. Girls weren't allowed in the mines. Girls, when your pretty faces came into the mines, the miners got a little bit distracted, you know. Sometimes they had an accident. So candle was the first type of light. And folks, the second attempt now at the lighting was the carbide lamps over here, Speedy. And that looks like a little kettle. And they would fill that with seal oil or whale oil, whatever was available, and they would put a wick in the spout. Now, because they're dealing with the hot oil, most of the time they left it there. Should they have to carry it around, and they were still only using soft caps, there would be a piece of leather or a piece of metal here in front with a hook on it. So that was really dangerous. Yeah. 7 degrees in the mines, folks, winter and summer. And folks, the third attempt at the lighting now was the carbide lamps. These were the favorites. These gave off the brightest light of all, folks. And our miners would mix the carbide powder or crystals with water, and that would create a gas. And when they lit that lamp there, it would shoot out a little flame, sometimes almost 2 inches long. And all the lighting, folks, on the main slope of the mine was on the east side only. For when the full ore cars were being pulled up here, this could be the most dangerous place in the mine. And then the miner in charge of the lights did not have the crisscross back and forth. And by 1949, everybody was wearing one of those battery-style tanks. Yeah, so we're coming this way. And folks, this is the first level that we see, and they're all numbered for identification. For if you were sent to number 2 mine, number 9 level, this is where you would be working, and this will take you a little more than a half a mile or so, folks. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? No? On the west side now, it was a little different, so we're going to come over here. Yeah, you come right in here, don't you? No. And shine, yeah, see that? This way, yeah. I'll get out of the way. Folks, on the west side, it was a little different. The 4 submarine mines connected to each other, and this number 2 mine that you're in will take you to numbers 3, 4, and 6 mines, and that's about 4.5 miles west of here. All lit with candles, and all shoveled out on here. Okay. And folks, the body of ore in our number 2 mine is here in all the walls of the mine. The ceiling is rock, and the floor is rock. And this body of ore, folks, is 17 feet high. But in the other submarine mines, the bodies of ore were 30 and 40 feet high. And we sold almost 80 million tons of Bell Island iron ore, folks, and we sold it all over the world. We got 2.5 to 3 billion tons left, all too expensive to process. We got a plan though, folks, $2 a piece in the gift store. Yeah, it's not going to get us very far, is it?
Yeah.
Some days we sell 5 or 6 pieces. And if you come over here with your light, and folks just gather over here, come closer, darling. And you're going to shine it on the floor, but you're going to scooch it up a bit. Yeah, the floor is rock, and it's shale or sandstone. The iron ore is in the walls of the mine. You can see where it starts and stops. And that craggy line is rock as well. 2 different eras of settlement, folks. And when the ore left the mine, it was put on the picking belt, and the young boys, the injured miners, the older workers would stand on either side of the picking belts, and they would reach in and hand-pick the rock from the ore. And that's the big pile of tailings you saw outside the building as you came by. That's what gives us our slow Wi-Fi, too. Now, we're coming up and we're going to go in. You can shine your light anywhere you like, my love. We'll do that side. Now, folks, this is level 16. In here is where they kept horses, and the horses they used to pull empty ore cars around the mines to the miners were the draft horses or the Clydesdales. The other horses were used mainly to bring supplies to our miners. But you know, folks, the horses did not live and die in the mines. They would blindfold the horses and take them out of the mines every month or so, and that blindfold had many layers of cloth, you see. And that would help prevent the horses from being scared or skittish going up the main slope, and the light on the surface wouldn't do any more damage to the horses' eyes. Each day then the horses were on the surface, they did light duty work, and so many folds of that blind would be taken away. And when the horses were rested and used to the light, they brought them back down again. But in 1950, folks, 1 year after number 2 mine closed, they started to modernize the mines, brought in electric trains to replace the horses, and people bought those horses then to work in their fields. They were big, beautiful, quiet horses, and I'm just getting over laryngitis. And they had between 80 and 90 horses altogether in the 4 submarine mines. And you know, folks, we had child labor as well. Oh. Yeah. And as you come in here, you'll see a box. It was a feed box, the box that the miners built to hold the grain or the oats for the horses. And when they built those boxes, folks, they made sure there were no open spaces in them, and that would possibly try to keep some of the friendly little rats out of the horses' food. There were lots of rats in the mines back then, lots of rat stories too. Miners and rats became friends. Miners fed the rats the last little corner of that slice of bread they had. It was always too dirty for the miner to eat, but the miners knew if they saw those rats scurry around and try to leave, there might be dangers of falls of ground. The rats left the miners alone. So we're all coming in this way now, folks.
So, you said by 1950,
got it better than that. And folks, this is the site of one of the original stables in the mine. The stalls have been rebuilt, but they're falling waste of time. And you know, you see the names on some of the names on the back wall there. Well, that's the names of the children who worked in the mines here. You know, where I grew up, there were 2 families of 19 children. And if you were the oldest boy in one of those families, and these mines were never going to stop working. Lots of ore here, so education back then wouldn't be a priority. So they would come down here and they would get a job in the mines. And sometimes they would be looking after the horses. They would feed the horses and clean them, put blankets over them at night. They would scoop up all that number 2 the horses did, and they got 5 cents an hour. Can everybody hear me? Yeah.
5 cents?
5 cents an hour.
For the kids.
And when they gave that money to their mom, no, there's no service down here, honey.
Oh, shoot.
When you go up though, look it up. So, and tell me. Our heyday, folks, was after the Second War when everybody started to rebuild, and we had as many as 2,200 people on the payroll here. And 14,000 people lived on Bell Island. And today we got a little less than 2,000 people living here and about 3 people on the payroll. Yeah. There's a big change. And in 1966, June 30th to be exact, a day we'll never forget, when that last mine closed, 14,000 people, no work. A lot of our miners followed mining towns. Labrador City, they went to Northern Ontario. Some miners went to the Marine States where they had fishing, and a lot of others went to the factory towns in Ontario. Anybody here live in Ontario at any one time? No? There was a lot of factory jobs up there in the 60s, and if you were from Bell Island back then, darling, and you had your own place, your own job, and you're doing well, and someone told you there was 15 or 20 Bell Island people coming up to look for work, well, you would take 2 or 3 in, and you would look after them until they got on their feet, and they did the same thing, folks. Yeah. So, do you have any questions? No?
What was the reason that they closed this mine in 1966?
Yeah, why?
What was the reason?
That they closed
Oh, it wasn't feasible. It was too expensive to operate. Labrador City had a big find of ore in the 50s, and they had surface ore, easy to get at, easy to transport. Yeah. Now, there's a light switch on that post behind you. There you go. Oh, you can turn it off again.
Yeah.
It's on your side here. See that first aid? Yeah. Right there. There's a candle and a lighter there. If you'd like.
Yeah. I have to turn off the light. Lights again?
That's one candle.
Wow.
And areas where miners work, there would be more than that. But our miners did have vision problems and hearing We're all back to normal. So we're going out to the bridge there, out there. Do you have any questions?
I have some question about the horses. You said that they couldn't see around because if they come here, maybe they go on or they lose their phone. Could you tell me more about the horse?
horses, when they were brought down into the mine, certainly they would be blindfolded to bring them down, and then they would take that blindfold off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the horses pulled empty ore cars around the levels. The full ore cars were pulled up the main slope by a cable. The horses lived down here. They were taken out of the mines every month or so. Every month. Not as bad as the pit ponies.
So for 50 years they use candles instead of lights? Oh my god.
There was no electricity on
Yeah.
them.
I could even imagine.
Structures here were colder than now. I mean, how they could resist in this winter. Because when they come down, it's colder than normal.
It's 7 degrees all the time. Yeah, winter and summer.
Oh, it's warmer than.
Yeah, outside most of the time. Yeah, seems warmer in the winter as well. Have everybody experienced the winter here?
Yes.
You haven't. Yeah, on Bell Island, the snow mostly goes away, so we don't have the snow you have in St. John. Yeah, and we're happy. Okay, out we go, folks. Yeah, keep going.
We can. There's no way.
Yeah, what's the fence?
Oh.
And folks, right now you're approximately 650 feet underneath the ground. There's about 120 feet of ground over your head right now. And all this water is fresh water, and it goes for another 2.5, 3 miles. On the same 10 degree slope. Out there where your light is shining in the right-hand corner, sweetie. The water meets up with the ceiling, and the water is 17 feet deep. Now, we should be 17 feet from the ceiling here, but every year we have washed it, and it builds up quite firm. So it's been 4 or 5 times. The buoy ties off the heat pump, which includes our building as well. And the ceiling is kind of unique here, folks. This was the ceiling at one time. Fossils on Bell Island. I don't know about that crack in the ceiling though. I wasn't there yesterday. And folks, do you have any questions about the water or anything? has more little stuff on there for the burn. And these pipes here carry the compressed water for the air. And the sides of the mine after it was blasted. And by the time the other miners came in, it was much safer. And over here, our myself took this Living Stocking, and he represents the church. And this is God's state. God represents the shelters. They call the shelters mockers. And there will be a mocker on the high side right here, from Bell Island, of course, because this is the easiest side. And a mocker from the down from the low side. And with the short-handled shovels, so 2 miners would fill 20 carnivore like this every day, and they did it all for 8 to 11 cents an hour. You're all too young to have a low wage. But my father came here in 1940, and he was the first lighthouse keeper, and he got $55 a month. When my friend and I finished school, and we went to work with the provincial government, we got $1 an hour. We were typists. Yeah, $40 a week. Yeah. So there you go. Times have changed, thank God. Yeah. Now when you ask somebody what their hourly wage is, they say $16. Folks, do you have any questions? Thank you for coming over to visit us. And every time we do a tour, we do it as a tribute to their honor, their hard work, and that sacrifice, folks.
Yeah.
And that's a reconstructed lunchroom. Not much to see, but you can go up there and mosey around. And we're all coming up this way now.